Okay, so in this video we're going to have a look at taking our data from an Excel document and just simply copying it into a Word document. This is a probable scenario. You may want to transfer your data into a form where it's perhaps easier for somebody to look at. Let's say, for example, in this case we're looking at the data to be looked at by the head of science, and they've asked for the raw data to be included, but also a brief summary of the contents which are, say, low, the chemicals which are low in stock, and which ones should be put on the order to be sent into the SEO, or however your school works. Now, I'm just taking liberties here, I suppose. I'm just sort of guessing at some of the things that you might be doing, and hopefully this is useful for you anyway. Anyway, so let's have a look and see how this might work. So what we've got here is I'm going to select the entire table, and we're going to pop this into a Word document. So basically I'm going to highlight the lot, and I hold Control and push C, and what that does is that copies the document, and you'll notice that it's copied because we've got that sort of flashing or sort of moving square around the selection at the moment. I can now go Alt-Tab and I'll go to Word. Okay, and I've sort of prepared this little document earlier for us to then paste our table into. So I can go Control-V to paste it, and oh dear, you'll notice that it comes up like this and some parts are cut off, etc., which is a little bit of a problem. So there's a couple of ways that we can get around this. Now, for us to be able to change things around, you may want to have a look at changing your page layout. Now we can simply change, if we go up to page layout in Word, we can change the orientation to a landscape. I think we'll find that once we've changed it to a landscape, most of the things should fit reasonably nicely. And they do. However, it sort of does cut it off here at the edge. So let's say, for example, if we're not happy about things being cut off at the edge, I might just take this little title out here to give myself a little bit more room. The other thing I can do is I can go to the side of the document, and what you'll notice is that if you've got the rulers inserted at the side of the document, like the little rulers down the side here, you'll see that there are little sections which are greyed out. Okay, now those greyed out areas are basically for the header and footer, and also your print margins. But what you can do is you can actually extend those by moving your cursor over there, and you'll notice that it changes to that sort of two-pronged arrow. If I then drag that up, what that will do is that will actually move the print borders to be a little bit further away from the edge. Okay, and we can actually do that from the other side as well, like so, and that fits everything on the table in the one area. One thing you'll notice is that it doesn't look that nice at the moment because I haven't got a border around some of these things here. So in order to include a border, okay, I can highlight that. I'm just going to go to right-click this and go down to where it says Table Properties. Okay, so if I go down to Table Properties, it'll bring up a number of different options in Word that I can kind of add. Now, it allows me to change the width of the table, the orientation of the content, where the table is actually sitting, where the text is wrapped around it, etc. But what I'm really interested in is not so much the row and column and table references, but the actual cell properties itself. Now, there's a small little box down here that says Options, and if I click on that, it hasn't come up with what I wanted it to. Excuse me for a moment. Excuse me for making that brief boo-boo. I just had a senior moment. So basically what we need to do in order to get those borders back is we highlight everything, and up the top here under the Table Tools Design, you'll notice that there's a little tab here which says Borders, and if I click on that and I go down to All Borders, it actually puts borders around everything in the table, okay, that weren't there previously. So if I click on that, it provides borders around everything there. Okay, so we'll stop that one there, and one more thing to do before we look at some features in Outlook.